They'll push you into a corner for too long, waiting for you to break under the weight of stagnant finances and lackluster relationships. But tomorrow, all of that changes. Your entire life is about to accelerate, unleashing new opportunities in both love and career so fast that it will make your head spin. If you're ready to transform these sweeping shifts into triumph, smash that like button, subscribe to keep your warrior spirit fired up, and comment 77 so the universe knows you stand open and unafraid. Chapter 1. The thunderous Trumby divergency. Feel the pounding in your chest, the anticipation that tomorrow brings more than a sunrise. It carries the past of a prophecy. For months, maybe years, you've sensed this unseen force guiding you, demanding more grit, more courage, more raw authenticity. You've marched through disappointments, financial gains promised but never delivered, sparks of romance that fizzled into lonely echoes. Yet deep inside, an ember of relentless hope still glows. You refuse to surrender your birthright, a destiny shaped by cosmic design, not mundane defeat. But everything you've endured has led to this apex. When people around you pegged you as the underdog or the hopeless idealist, they had no idea your spirit was forged in adversity's flames. Tomorrow marks a break in the battlefield, like that sudden clarion call that rallies every weary soldier to fight with renewed ferocity. These changes won't arrive in polite, neatly wrapped packages. They'll crash into your world like thunder, rattling the cages you built to keep yourself safe. The illusions you clung to for false security will crumble, and in their place, new alliances and expansions will form. It's less of a gentle blessing, more of a cosmic quake. You might feel a hint of panic. That's normal. Transformation at this magnitude can be terrifying, like stepping off the ledge without any guarantee of a net. But only from the brink does the real miracle happen. Here is where your warrior's mettle is tested, where you discover your capacity to channel storm winds into unstoppable momentum. A once lonely heart could suddenly be courted by someone who mirrors your most profound values, or a career lead you never saw coming might demand you relocate or embrace a role you never imagined. The ordinary would vacillate, seeking comfort. The emergent leaps with wild conviction. Alongside this transformation, there are watchers. Some quietly cheer, awed by your boldness. Others watch with suspicion, scoffing at the nerve of someone who dares to dream beyond the ordinary. But that's part of your mission, to dismantle the notion that destiny has to be small or predictable. Each skeptical eye only fuels your resolve. You aren't just forging a better life for yourself. You're forging a beacon for every brave soul still trapped in monotony, reminding them that something extraordinary is possible. No matter how battered your faith feels, do not waver now. Tomorrow's changes will test your resilience, but that same resilience is the reason you're receiving these openings in the first place. Keep your mind honed on that drumbeat, that primal call of the spirit that says, "Brave sight dissolves." Each second you stand firm in your truth draws the future you've craved closer. When the day breaks and the newness rushes in, greet it not with timid acceptance, but with roaring defiance of the old limitations. Let the watchers see what it looks like when a chosen soul decides they are done playing small. The thunder is jummy to weights, and it's time for you to dance to it with an unwavering heart. Chapter 2. The heedless tempo of spiritual war. As the cosmic clock ticks toward tomorrow's tipping point, the energy around you intensifies into a vortex of spiritual warfare. This isn't about swords and shields in the literal sense. No, it's more insidious and intangible. It's the clash of old beliefs that chain you to mediocrity versus the radiant possibility that your life is meant for more. All day, you might feel subtle pains of anxiety or bursts of adrenaline, as if your soul senses an oncoming confrontation with destiny. That confrontation is real, and it's your spirit's call to arms. Every limiting script you absorbed from society, each label pinned on you by those who never, ever saw your potential, is a front in this quiet war. Maybe you were told you'd always struggle, or that real love was an illusion for dreamers. Those words once held the power to keep you small, but now the illusions begin to crack, revealing the raw truth. You are neither bound by your bank account nor by your romantic history. You are a force shaped by divine sparks. The naysayers might keep talking, but their voices ring hollow compared to the thunder in your chest. Here's where you must do your war cry, the vow that you will not yield to fear or cynicism. The tomorrow that's fast approaching demands unwavering resolve, because these looming opportunities, whether it's the dream role, the unexpected financial break, or a love that revitalizes your entire being, are just as daunting as they are exhilarating. If you let doubt rule, you'll self-sabotage at the doorstep of victory. So silence the part of you that wants to shrink back into the shadows. There's no room for caution in a moment that demands boldness and fiery presence. Of course, your mind might revolt at this. Voices in your head might say you're not ready, that you haven't done enough, or that your past missteps disqualify you. Recognize these voices for what they are, phantom echoes of your old self, desperate to maintain the stagnant status quo. They cling to the known, no matter how soul-deadening, because the unknown terrifies them. But you've come too far to heed those echoes now. The real you craves the expansion that only leaps of faith can bring. And never forget, the watchers are not all external. Sometimes the most suffocating onlooker is your own inner critic, perched in the back of your mind, waiting to pounce on every misstep. The truth is, mistakes will happen. Big leaps come with stumbles, but these stumbles are growth, not downfall. When you see them as such, the so-called critic loses its hold, and you prove to yourself that resilience triumphs over perfection. As tomorrow's changes roll in, embrace the heedless tempo. Dare to move faster, speak louder, and feel more deeply. Dare to follow that wild, thrumming beat that leads you down a path no map can fully chart. You're not alone in this. Forces of light gather at your back, urging you on. Forces that arise from your own unstoppable conviction. This is the high-stakes moment your entire spiritual evolution has prepared you for. Stand firm, fists clenched in resolve, and tell the universe you won't bow to hesitation or the illusions of safety. You'll charge ahead, fueled by the holy madness of becoming who you were always meant to be. Chapter 3. When the battlefield of love erupts. For the longest time you might have associated love with compromise, heartbreak, or unmet desire. It's as if every romantic foray was a calculated risk that left you scarred, questioning whether real affection and kinship even existed for someone as driven or as wounded as you. Now you can feel it building, a sweet yet electric tension that signals a shift in your relational world. Tomorrow, a new door cracks open. For some, it's the reappearance of a long-lost connection, but for most, it's an entirely fresh presence who matches your intensity in every way that truly matters. This isn't the kind of love that crawls in gradually, letting you adapt at your leisure. No, it's more like a thunderclap. It arrives with an immediacy that can feel both exhilarating and deeply unsettling. The watchers might sense your heart flutter in new ways, and some will wait for the moment you falter, suspecting you can't handle the vulnerability that comes with actual intimacy. Yet, you've long outgrown the version of yourself who would sabotage blossoming closeness out of fear. This love stands on the battlefield next to you, both an ally and a catalyst. It won't let you hide behind your usual defenses. Your mind might ramble, asking, "Is this too good to be true?" And that's a fair question. After all, illusions of romance have tricked you before, but something in your gut insists This is different. A meeting orchestrated by the forces shaping your destiny, timed precisely for your readiness. Suddenly, the walls you built around your heart weaken, not because they've been battered down, but because they no longer serve any purpose. The shared spark you feel is worth the risk of letting someone see you in your rawest form, scars, secrets, and all. Of course, you have the freedom to reject this new love. The Watchers would love to see power reduced, to see you treat this connection like an optional accessory to an already busy life. But turning away from it might also mean turning away from an essential piece of your evolution. Because true partnership doesn't just fill a void, it ignites every facet of your being, sharpening your ambitions while teaching you the radical vulnerability that fosters genuine emotional synergy. Together, you create a fortress of mutual drive and devotion. Yes, it can get complicated. Love doesn't come with an assurance of perfection. Issues might arise, logistical, emotional, or even spiritual. Perhaps one of you must relocate, or you disagree on the next big leap. In these frictions, your deeper bond is tested. But that's the beauty. Love forged in the fires of adversity grows unbreakable. If you communicate openly, keep your shared vision of tomorrow in focus, and never lose your sense of self, you transform every challenge into a new testament of unity. So let the battlefield of love erupt. Let it wash over you with a fervor that redefines comfort zones. Let it teach you that softness is not weakness, but a potent weapon in a world that's become numb. And if you face the Watchers with your new partner or your returning flame by your side, let them see that your combined strength emanates from a place beyond the mundane. It's spiritual synergy, unstoppable and unapologetic. Tomorrow you discover that romantic love can be not just a subplot in your life's epic tale, but a driving force that propels you further into your rightful place among those who dare to be fully alive. Chapter 4. Conquering the chasms in your career. Just as love's domain stands ready to erupt into new possibilities, your career sphere rumbles with tremors of transformation. Maybe you felt stifled by a mundane job that doesn't light your inner spark. Or perhaps you're self-employed but stuck on a plateau with no sign of progress. Tomorrow, that changes. A disruption is at hand, an opening that demands you pivot boldly, even if it means stepping off a stable ledge into unknown territory. But don't romanticize it too much. The Watchers linger here too. They might be colleagues who doubt your ability to rise above your station, or superiors who see you as nothing more than a cog. Maybe it's the quiet cynic within you, whispering that you can't handle the leap because you've never soared before. Nonetheless, the cosmic currents favor the risk-takers right now. That seemingly random conversation with a distant contact could spark a job offer in a new city. The overlooked passion project you shelved months ago might suddenly look like the key to your financial liberation. Doors you once found locked could now fly open with minimal effort, simply because you've arrived at the moment the universe orchestrated for your growth. This doesn't mean it's all sunshine. You'll have to fight. You might have to sacrifice certain comforts or face a wave of new responsibilities that test your competence. If it's a leadership role you're being called to, prepare for the weight of guiding others who rely on your vision. If it's creative freedom, brace yourself for the discipline required to shape raw inspiration into tangible success. Everyone says they want more until they see how much more demands of them. This is where your spiritual muscle, honed by adversity, proves invaluable. As a chosen soul, you already know the rhythm of challenges fueling breakthroughs. This is just the next level on that cosmic ladder. At the core, you must choose unshakable commitment over fleeting enthusiasm. The Watchers hope you'll hesitate or retreat when the demands escalate. Don't. When cynics sneer or gatekeepers set up impossible-sounding tasks, see those as stepping stones, not barriers. The intensity you pour into your new role or enterprise becomes the engine of metamorphosis. Every time you overcome an obstacle, you anchor the message that your presence in this world is not casual, but fated, and that can scare people who cling to mediocrity. Let it, but be warned, illusions lurk here just as they do in love. An impressive-sounding collaboration could be a lure that ties you to exploitation under the guise of opportunity. A flashy position might corrode your values from within. Therefore, stay grounded in spiritual discernment. If an offer feels glamorous on the surface but triggers deep discomfort in your gut, pause. As tomorrow's surge of career energy arrives, excitement can blur caution. Remember, you want to climb, not crash. So, question every step carefully but boldly. The universe's opportunities won't vanish if you take a moment to see the full scope of what you're signing up for. Once you leap, though, don't half commit. Throw your entire being into forging the new path. Strive relentlessly, but not from fear of failure. Do it as an act of devotion to your personal calling. The watchers? Let them watch. Their judgments can't stall you when you're blazing with purpose. Amid the ashes of outdated routines, you build an empire. Maybe not overnight, but each day, brick by brick, fueled by the unstoppable force that dawns the moment you say yes to your cosmic mission. Tomorrow is your clarion call in career matters, and each hour after you heed it transforms your livelihood into the vibrant testament of who you are destined to become. Chapter 5. Shattering the Weight of Past Defeats. Spiritual awakenings and new opportunities often stir up old wounds. Perhaps you once misjudged a romantic partner and ended up heartbroken, or multiple career moves flopped, leaving you feeling perpetually unlucky. If unchecked, these past defeats can become heavy chains that slow your next leap forward. The watchers, be they external critics or your own self-doubt, would rather see you trapped in unresolved hurt than stepping boldly into your new dawn. Yet tomorrow's shift can't blossom if you're dragging yesterday's baggage. You must confront the illusion that past failures dictate your future. They don't. Each betrayal taught you self-reliance. Each botched job forced you to hone overlooked skills. This isn't about dismissing your scars. It's about recognizing them as fuel. Once you transform sorrow into determination, you weaken the shackles and restore your confidence. Letting go of old pain is a deliberate choice. Part of you might cling to defeat, oddly soothed by its familiarity, whispering, "I've been hurt before. Why risk more heartbreak?" But that risk is precisely the gateway to a love or vocation that can genuinely fulfill you. It's your chance, whether second, third, or 10th, to become unstoppable by refusing to hide behind the stories of who you were. Create a brief ritual. Envision each painful memory as a link in a heavy chain. Feel its weight before visualizing yourself breaking every link. Some may label such imagery naive, but that's their limitation, not yours. This act of imagination signals both the universe and your wounded psyche that you no longer accept bondage. Yes, you remain free to fail, but you're also free to win spectacularly. Now you know you can rise. From any stumble, seek support where you can find it. If a trusted friend, a mentor, or a new companion believes in your potential, allow their strength to bolster you. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It broadens your capacity to transform heartbreak into unstoppable willpower. Past defeats become stepping stones, proof of your resilience. So when tomorrow's transformation arrives, you won't fear messing up. Instead, you'll charge forward, convinced you can adapt, grow, and surge higher no matter what. At last, those old scars become badges of honor, testimony to every battle you survived, and the watchers, seeing their steady stance, may finally glimpse true perseverance. That unshaken conviction is what tomorrow demands. You stand at the threshold of life's next chapter with open arms and an unchained heart, ready to love and create again, unburdened by the past. Chapter 6. Stepping beyond the maze of logic. Even the sharpest mind has limits. Logic is vital for sorting through finances, schedules, and practical choices, but what lies ahead surpasses mere reason. A deeper spiritual synergy is unfolding, one that logic alone can't chart. It's like trying to measure the horizon with a ruler, possible in fragments, but never complete. In this next phase, trust in the unknown becomes your hidden ace. Many of us were raised to value rationality above all else, at the expense of wonder and intuition. Yet these ships barreling toward you crave precisely that sense of wonder. Rely on logic exclusively, and you might dismiss a soul-stirring connection or a daring business move because it seems irrational in the moment. Your intuition, however, may whisper that this leap is the key to rewriting your destiny. Yes, the watchers will demand evidence and certainty. They'll ask why you pursue a shaky romance or a career pivot without guaranteed success. Their doubts mirror your own lingering fears. But being chosen isn't about guaranteeing worldly success before you start. It's about believing you're more than your past, more than your wins or losses. That unwavering belief is what fuels real transformation. Balance your rational mind with your awakened spirit. Stay grounded, but also stay open to synchronicities. The mentor who calls unexpectedly, the vivid dream that won't leave you, the stranger's remark that dissolves your latest fear. These cosmic clues defy logic, yet speak clearly to your soul. Logic can't decode them. Your soul does. Don't chase external validation. The watchers may question your decisions or ridicule your leaps, but you've glimpsed realms where linear thinking can't reign. Honor that vision, even if doubt occasionally tugs at you. Tomorrow's transformation isn't about society's definition of success. It's about aligning with your highest path. Once you trust that intangible current, you ascend to a vantage point most never dare approach. From there, you'll see that your future isn't purely rational or chaotic. It's purposeful. Let logic serve as a faithful tool, but let your newly awakened spirit lead the charge. This fusion of thoughtful planning and daring wonder is how you stride forward into each new day, unfazed by skeptics and unburdened by doubt, poised to receive the blessings the universe has always reserved for those who dare to trust beyond the maze of logic. Chapter 7. Charging into the new dawn. You sense it now. The rising energy that tells you everything you fought for, through heartbreak and dismissal, is finally within reach. Tomorrow stands like a front line in your personal revolution, a threshold you will cross. Let the watchers observe with skeptical eyes. Let illusions tempt. Let fear wave its little flag. You are done hesitating. This final chapter is your war cry, propelling you into the life you once only sensed was possible. If your heart thumps at the idea of a new romance, embrace that vulnerability. If your career stands at a precipice, demanding relocation or a radical shift, see it as a pilgrimage forging you into a more powerful force. The key is to act. Once the clarion call sounds, the window closes and regret sets in. Obstacles may appear immediately, pushback from loved ones, unforeseen logistics, or lingering self-doubt. These are your refining fires. Conquer them with clarity and resolve. Each small victory signals you're primed for the next level of blessing. You're no half-hearted adventurer, but a warrior, welcoming adversity as a crucible for growth. Within this momentum, distinguish between speed and haste. Speed arises from faith in your aim and divine timing. Haste stems from panic, scattering focus. Take a breath. Confirm you're still aligned with your heart's mission. Then charge onward with the unshakable certainty of a champion who knows why they fight. If at any point it all threatens to overwhelm, if the swirl of new commitments and emotional intensity looms too large, turn inward. The watcher's opinions, illusions, or even good intentions can cloud your vision, but the quiet voice within is your true ally. It has accompanied you through every heartbreak and unspoken dream, trusted to keep you steady when the pace intensifies. Tomorrow's wave of change isn't just an event, it's an invitation to embodiment. You've glimpsed your potential in fleeting moments, but now you have the opportunity to live it fully. The world craves those who dare to embody their deepest truths, showing that love conquers cynicism and purpose outlasts doubt. Be that living proof. As you charge into this new dawn, let your spirit blaze with the knowledge that fate yields to the unstoppable force of a chosen soul who refuses to settle. This is your moment. Seize it.